I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in the
approaching drop zone.
Turn to a beast when I'm rapping. I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in and get a couple weapons, yeah, I turn to a beast when I'm rapping.
Let's go.
A new Battle Royale game with 1 million players already. Time to get up to speed with Apex Legends.
You are the Apex champions.
Battle Royale games are a bit like buses. There's a lot of waiting around at the start, and other people seem hell-bent on making you listen to their music, but mainly what we're getting at is that whole 3 come along at once cliche. A few years ago the genre didn't even exist, and now suddenly up-up's a brand new one called Apex Legends, and you hadn't even really figured out PUBG or Fortnite yet, if you're being honest. Not to worry, we're reporting from the front lines of Respawn's new squad-based Battle Royale to fill you in on everything you need to know about Apex Legends.
Get ready. Today is not gonna be easy.
First and foremost, you don't need to worry about popping any release dates in your calendar because Apex Legends is already out. How did that happen? Well, Respawn announced it on a stream at the start of February, and then a few days later they just went and released it as well. It's the anti-Half-Life 3 in that sense. In that very brief window of time, it's already found 1 million players to join its ranks, so getting onto a full match shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we're saving the best until last here, because that huge community has probably been enticed in no small part because Apex Legends is free. Like, free, gratis, on the house. All you need to do is download it via Origin, which admittedly does require you to hold an account. But remember when you had to drive to a shopping centre, pick up your desired game in its cardboard box, pay for it, drive home, and then install that game off a disc? Yeah, puts things in perspective, doesn't it? But hang on, if the game's free, does that mean... Yeah, you saw this one coming, didn't you? Apex Legends is published by EA, who were arguably hit the hardest by the great loot box backlash of 2017. They're obviously keen for their Battle Royale to avoid a similar fate to Battlefront 2, and so they're taking a very different approach to microtransactions this time. To that end, Apex Legends doesn't include any performance-related microtransactions. In other words, you can't buy anything that gives you a gameplay advantage. Instead, all loot box content and in-game purchases are tied to cosmetic stuff like character and weapon skins and victory poses, aka the stuff you could never conceive of lusting after when you first play a game, but later find yourself staring longingly at in the in-game store. Stupid, sexy Gibraltar. These cosmetic items are acquired either through in-store purchases, loot box drops when you hit upgrade milestones, or direct purchases. The loot box odds are public too, and there's a bad luck insurance system that grants you a rare item every 30 tries if you don't get one before that point. What do you make of it? Is it off-putting to see paid content floating around in the periphery, or are you okay with its cosmetics-only policy? Let us know in the comments. Here's what really sets Apex Legends apart from other Battle Royale games. It feels really polished. Traditionally, the genre's had a bit of a punk rock attitude, releasing early pre-alpha versions and building up from there, and that's made for some pretty janky gunfights over the last few years. You can't level that same criticism at Respawn though. The shooting feels meaty and precise, and although you wouldn't know it from our rather woeful early performances here, weapons have their own definite strengths and weaknesses at various ranges and scenarios, so prior knowledge is a must. Hit point readouts, satisfying shield break sounds, and visual hit markers all help with weapon feedback, or in explaining where it all went wrong, as the case may be. It does take a while to get to know each weapon though, because it's not always obvious that what you're carrying is in fact not a shotgun as you assumed, but a long-distance assault rifle. Yeah, enjoy that kill, whoever you were. Do you play Battle Royale games as a lone wolf, skulking and hunting for chicken dinners without uttering a word to anyone? Well, if so, we've got some interesting news about Apex Legends. Only 3-person squads are currently supported, so there's no solo or duo play at all. Of course, you can jump away from your squad and try and go lone wolf for most of the round, but you're still tied to that team. However long you last, you won't be able to kill everyone else on the map, because 2 of them are your trusted friends and comrades. It's the first of the big Battle Royale games not to follow in the original blueprint in this regard. The other major players allow for varying squad sizes and solo play, but developers Respawn say they don't consider any aspect of the genre sacred, in the same way that they didn't consider anything about Titanfall sacred when they were working on that franchise. Fair enough, really. It worked out pretty well in that case, didn't it? There are a few Battle Royale traditions that Apex Legends does uphold though, and launching with a single gigantic map is one of them. Kings Canyon takes more inspiration from Fortnite's map design than PUBG's, creating a surreal environment dotted with shacks, sci-fi facilities, hovering ships, these weird creatures in the background, and some mysterious skeletons. There's a notable focus on verticality too, which is a fancy way of saying you'll die a lot because you didn't look up. Enemies can approach you from literally every angle, and they might even be doing a knee slide down a mud track while they do it. This is a Respawn game after all, there had to be at least a touch of freerunning about it. Helpfully, your HUD tells you whether the area you're currently inhabiting is full of high-tier loot, medium-tier goodies, or low-tier garbage. Unhelpfully, those high-tier areas tend to be quite popular with the locals. Wonder why. At present, there are 8 characters to choose from in Apex Legends, and they each bring 3 abilities to the table, 1 active, 1 passive, and 1 special. Bangalore here is a professional soldier, and she has a smoke grenade on a cooldown timer for her active, moves faster when taking fire for her passive, and cools down an artillery strike when stuff gets really real for her special. On the other hand, Mirage is a holographic trickster, which surely wins the 2019 award for best class name already. He can throw out a decoy on his active ability and does so automatically when he's downed, that's his passive. When you activate his special, he chucks out a whole team of decoys while cloaking himself so you can beat a hasty retreat. Players have already praised the diversity in Apex Legends' 8 available characters at launch, and we're also big fans of this Dota-like character selection process at the start of each round. Touch Mirage and die, squad mates. When Titanfall developers Respawn announced the new game, just a few days before that game would release as it turns out, we were all sort of expecting that it would be a Titanfall game. At least a little bit Titanfall-y anyway. A massive stompy mech here, bit of wall running there, but Apex Legends is very much its own thing. We're still half expecting a massive stompy mech update at some point in the future if we're being completely honest. I mean, the map's more than big enough to house a few of them at a time. But for now, this is a shooter between fleshy, normal-sized humans and one robot who's basically also person-sized.
I was created for this, I think.
However, there is a touch of the Titanfall movement system when it comes to knee slides. Hold crouch when you're at a sprint and you'll start sliding. Really handy for descending big hills at speed and useful for dodging an enemy's fire if you're quick enough about it too. Right, we're going back to Kings Canyon, and we're not leaving until we get a victory. Alright, a kill. Okay, can we at least have some of our dignity back? No? Fine. While we hone our skills a bit, why not leave us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and share your own thoughts on Apex Legends in the comments. Remember, you can subscribe to the channel for more of our content, and turn on notifications to ensure you never miss a vid. Until next time, please stop shooting us.
Like and share if you enjoy the video and think others might benefit from this, and of course subscribe and hit the notification button if you are new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video.